say what the first song we ever played?
Absolutely. But you know, it's like I wasn't even considering it in terms of like tone. I was thinking.
Al said it best when he came in the room, the first or second rehearsal. Al said, "Look, I'm known for a certain kind of music. You guys are known for a certain kind of music. Why can't this project be all these other styles of music? And then we just bring it all together. And when someone says, well, what kind of music are you? And we say, we're hard rock. I don't know how else we can explain it. There's elements of punk, there's element of stoner, there's elements of classic rock.
You know, there's a little bit of metal in it. There's some groove. There's all kinds of influences in it. And, you know, we're okay with all of those influences showing up somewhere in the music.
I think this band is a tip of the hat to our influences, because, you know, we definitely want to bring a more broader range of influences in. We could go into rehearsal room and we could write the same 10 songs, but none of us wants to do that. We definitely want to write some of the stuff we've written in years past with other projects because we love that stuff, but we also want to explore the music that made me want to, you know, play drums when I was 9 years old and then play guitar when I was 13, you know? And so that's what I think it is for me is, you know, I want to take those influences of that Sabbath or that hard rock, or even like The Who, like one of my favorite bands of all time, bands like that, and bring that stuff to the table, and let's sprinkle it in there and see what we get.
I can honestly say everybody in the band has got a really good, healthy understanding, knowledge, and love for, you know, the influences that we've had. You know, I've carried them with me my entire life. I still get off on hearing some of the stuff that I listened to when I was a teenager, because I have access to that same real visceral emotion. When I heard Slayer for the first time, it spoke to me on a level that I can't explain to a closed-minded person. If you don't get it, you don't get it, and I understand that. But if you can at least understand the fact that, you know, Jeff Hanneman, for instance, is a really incredible guitar player, artist, and writer. It might not be your cup of tea. Then we can talk. But if you're just like, oh, I don't like metal, then I can't help you. You know, you've already lost. You know, you've lost the game of life. It's over for you. You know what I mean? You got old.
Right. Well, the wildest thing about this project is that there's no ulterior motive as far as, well, we need to write something, or, you know, something for other than the fact that we're writing out of pure joy and love of what we're writing and what we're trying to create. So perfect example is the song Overlord. And, you know, I had this Motorhead style riff in my head, and Al had this really cool Soundgarden kind of, you know, influenced riff. And Dwayne always says he knew this project would get going when we combined those riffs to form that song. You know, we're not trying to write in a certain vein here or there. I think we just really want our influences to come through, because we're trying to create as many different elements of heavy as possible for this band. And I know that in past bands I'd been in, there was always kind of a vein, like this is the vein of where we're headed. Well, in this project, I think we've tried to take as many different influences as possible and put that forward. And in the 4 lyric videos we released through the quarantine stuff, each song has sounded different. And that's something that we've been very conscious of.
Ozzy was the first guy in on the metal scene. I think most people would agree with that. Black Sabbath is the shit. I mean, if you want to talk about Blue Cheer and, you know, I mean, some of the other sort of proto-metal bands, but I mean, Black Sabbath is certainly that album. Like the song Black Sabbath from the album Black Sabbath by the band Black Sabbath. There's only certain bands that can get away with doing that. It's the name of the band, the album, and, you know, the title track. When you come up with that song, boom, after, like, you know, hearing the distant sound of wind and rain and a church bell, it evokes a sort of like a Hammer film probably from the time, right? You know what I mean? An old horror movie, and all of a sudden you hit that boom, those notes. You know, that's the beginning of metal, for sure.
There's also these bands like Black Sabbath that bring us all together, but that being obvious I'm trying to bring other stuff that I listen to, because as I said, like, you know, being a guitar player in this and just being a guitar player, I really want the parts to be fun. I want all of my riffs to be fun to play. You know, so that means, like, you know, classic rock is like one of the biggest influences on me, but also pop rock, like pop music. There's certain elements to pop that really intrigue me, and I want to uncover that a bit more. I want to add that stuff in. I love the 80s, you know, and so adding all that stuff while they're fucking metalheads, you know, the whole way. It's like, you know, they love all kinds of music too, but it's a, you know, there's definitely some extreme metal that's in their repertoire, and they're just like, they're huge into the heavy stuff, and I love heavy. I love Entombed. I love Carcass. I love Obituary, like those bands. But then adding, you know, Thin Lizzy and Black Sabbath and AC/DC and Aerosmith, and then adding the Police and Huey Lewis and the News and fucking Don Henley, you know, and these like Seeger, you know, all these different areas of it, you know, like Tears for Fears. Like, there's just so much shit that, like, I'm trying to do guitar wise to hopefully open up some sort of ideas, sparks for everybody else too. And they're like, oh man, like, this reminds me of this, and like they just name something so fucking weird and out of there, and it's like, now all of a sudden we've got a part that kind of sounds like a Talking Heads song. It's absolutely bizarre. But again, like, because Ray and Dwayne are so tightly knit, and they're so keeping an eye on structure, you know, and formula, that we don't stray too far from what brought us all to the dance in the first place. So they're always really good at bringing us back. And so we can take all these cool ideas, formulate some cool ideas, bring it to the room, really generate some kind of motion with it, and then what they do is they mold it. They say, hey, like, it's a really cool idea. It's kind of in the pop realm. It's a little happy. Is there any way we can make this thing a little more gnarly, you know, without losing the happiness of it, you know? It's not anything I expected. Wasn't at all. Like, again, like, I thought that I was going to come in and just have these ideas and be able to run with it, but at the same time, I wanted a little bit of, secretly, I wanted some of this, you know, love affair, like from high school kind of thing. Like, it really does make me, you know, excited to be in a band again, you know? So it's cool. It's cool.
Okay, so this is the first song that we wrote. The deal was that the last band that Ray, Dwayne, and I were in was dissolved, and we were stay together. Are we gonna do this? Yes, sir. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Okay. Thank God Ray's here to embarrass me in front of the entire audience. Hey, here you go, bud. Hey, man, fuck it. Hey, everybody. Ray likes things a certain way, and that's the way they are. There you go. Thank you very much, Ray. There you go. There you go. That's where that goes. So anyway, the first song, as I was saying, thanks, Ray. Awesome. Just make sure, everybody here, this was Ray's brainchild. He really wanted to get this done. He wanted to perform and present it. And, you know, he's a wonderful fucking co-conspirator in music. For some of us that move too fast, he's always ready to be the voice of reason and to pump the brakes. Your guitar's gonna stay on the Yes, it's gonna, hopefully it will. Anyway, what I was gonna say was, this is the first song we wrote when we got Al in the room, and the idea was it was gonna be, hey, we're gonna jam, we're gonna record something, and hope, you know, we know who Al is, it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be fun. And that's all we were kind of like, we weren't looking much further than that. And next, you know, it was 3 songs, and then it was more. And then we wrote a song that I literally cherry-picked the subject matter of to really grab them. Be like, hey, we're gonna write a song about one of Al's greatest heroes. This is not this song, this is the first song, but that song definitely cemented it. So, not that it was all on me, but you know, you gotta know your audience. And we will play that. Click, click, click. Yeah, yeah.
Where's my hug?
No.
Where's my hug?
Yeah.
No reason to speak. This is no lie. For once you had lived, well now you've died. This is no mystery, disguising a harmony. Oh, this is no riddle, meant to confuse, openly told. It's about the journey. Born before even eternity. There is no key to unlock this door. You pass through, and now you need me. Yes, I am old and dead, like a man of big pain. The only law I think is that you pay my fee. Time and tears are a currency I value more than treasured, precious memories. Bound to these waters, when lifted by the river's edge. Pilot the sticks is what I swore. I'll take you to the other shore. Only since I take the lead, you're too paid by the life you live. I wait on deck, as you say, hell will pay. I've sold my soul. I've got nothing left to trade. I'll take my place, silent at the stern. Deliver your soul, knowing it will burn. Oh yeah, that's how I pay. What's how I'm paid? Avernus awaits.
That's an impressive rock ending. You'd almost think that it was the end of the set, but it's not.